Greetings and salutations, my name's JW608 and today I am playing Grounded. Grounded's a special game to me, but let's get into it. We're gonna click play. You are living with your elderly grandmother, and when she found out about your grades, she grounded you. Thus you are confined to your bedroom. Then the real tragedy hit. Your video game guy ran out of batteries. Now you must risk your life to find more so that you can survive the weekend. You know that Grandma keeps extras in the house somewhere, but you can't remember where. They could be in the kitchen counter, the curio cabinet in the living room, the living room closet, the hall closet, or in Grandma's nightstand. You need to search these places to find which one has the batteries, and then get back to your room. At no point can you let Grandma see you outside your room. Keep in mind that Grandma tends to roam the house, sometimes erratically. This is because of her failing mental health, and totally not due to the wonky hackjaw pathfinding she uses. Alright, we can either cancel I'm scared, cancel, somebody spelled cancel wrong it looks like. Let's do this. And there we are at the top left there, there's Grandma. She's getting it now. And we need to check, let's see, her nightstand? No. This closet? Nope. How about this closet? Nope. Make sure Grandma doesn't see us. Just sneak behind her. Alright, we found the batteries. Sometimes she gets stuck in the bathroom. Oh, good. Oh! Alright, and back to the bedroom. You win! You successfully outwitted Grandma and got those batteries. Alright, we'll play one more time. Yeah, you lose. Alright, one more time. I like the little bunny slippers. Alright, first we're gonna check Grandma's nightstand. We found them right off. Oh, that's good. Alright, I'm done. Let's quit, and let's actually go to the meat of this video. This was my entry for Ludum Dare 37. Those of you who are unfamiliar with the Ludum Dare, or Ludum Dare, L-U-D-U-M space D-A-R-E, is a game jam. Those of you unfamiliar with game jams, a game jam is an event where you try to build a game in a limited amount of time with certain restrictions. I participated in the Ludum Dare jam. There's also the compo. The compo's the formal competition, has stricter rules and all that. I went for the jam. It's a little more relaxed, a little more time. Even though I went with the jam, my goal was to get it done in the compo time period, which is 48 hours. So I think I did this in 46 hours. I built this game, all the art, the music you heard, the sound effect. Well, I found a sound effect generator for that, BFX. If you need sound effects, go to BFX or search it. There's an online tool thing. Excellent for old school Nintendo-y sounding sound effects. And I built this thing in Unity. So this was done in less than 48 hours, and I did the coding, I did the music, the art. I used some Crayola, not crayons, colored pencils, and drew these guys with a marker. Let's take a look at Grandma there. Grandma's a bit squashed, and I forgot to cut out those. But Ludum Dare is great fun. I recommend you either try it or go check out the Ludum Dare website. There's a whole ton of games. And judging for Ludum Dare 37, I believe, has begun. In order to judge, you have to have created a game. Alright, so let's jump into this and figure out what it is. The theme for Ludum Dare 37, they give you a theme and a time period. The theme was one room. And I thought, one room? And so I did this little stealth game where this player is only allowed in this room. Here, if we play it, and Grandma should see us there. But since I'm in my room, I'm okay. If I step out of my room, Grandma sees me. I got caught, and we lose. Okay. And I used Unity. C# is my programming language. And let's just walk through what I did and sort of a post-mortem. First of all, I started with the player controls. In fact, let me find my music master, and let's not play on awake, except that's in the code. Let's drop the volume down so we don't have to listen to that music every time. Okay, it's in the code. So we're going to go I hard-coded it. Music controller? Let's just boot up. I'm using MonoDevelop, the editor that came with Unity. Anyway, I decided on a stealth game where you're only allowed in one room, and I thought that matched the theme all right. Let's see. And I apologize for those of you who are programming or learning to program or real game developers. This is going to be horrible. This is going to be painful to look at, because this was done as this was done as quickly as I could get it. Level manager, music volume. It's under update. Let's take you out. See. Update start. We're not going to play the song. Save that. Back to real Unity. And. Come on. It gets cranky with me every so often. There we go. And I did write the music. I used a program called MuseScore and took an hour or two and just fiddled with it. Alright. Now the most difficult thing I had in this was the pathfinding. You notice these little red triggers? These are waypoints. And we're going to turn you off for the time being. There we go. So you don't have that weird glowing thing there. And the waypoints. I wanted Grandma just to roam around the house at random. So I gave her this goal. I called it the adult goal. Grandma's an adult. My plan was originally to have 2 adults, but I think the map's just a little small for that. I guess I could have done that and put it like hard mode. But again, this was made in 48 hours. Anyway, and Grandma's always going to try to move to the adult goal. Actually, she has another game object called move to. And this game object's always going to try to get to the move to. And until it gets to a certain range, then she'll stop. Well, I have another thing, the level manager. Let's see if we can find him. Level manager. And it calculates, where is it? Wake, start, update. It figures the distance. It takes the waypoints, the red blocks, and it figures out the distance between them, the adult, the goal, or between them and the adult, and them and the goal. And then it determines whether or not Grandma can see it. You notice all these green lines that are going there? I'm using those to check to see if the waypoints are in view. See, right now, she can't see waypoint 2. Now she can, but now it's being blocked by a wall. So I use these raycasts to determine sight, line of sight. Let's pause that. So, the way the code's set up is going to say, oh, I can see 10, 4, 7, and 3, and it's going to try to figure out which one of these is closest to Grandma and the closest to the goal. Then, like if I have the goal set to 9 here, and I have the goal set to every 10 seconds or so, 30 seconds, half second, whatever, I have a timer that, with a random number, that will cause the goal to jump around either to the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom. She doesn't like the bathroom for some reason, or the bedroom. And she wanders around. You saw her get stuck right here. She does that a lot. Anyway, so the goal, or the idea for this waypoint, sort of a quick hack job, A-star pathfinding, not really. It's going to say, oh, well, I see 7, I see 4, and I see 10. I can't see 1. 7's closest to me, 4 is closest to the goal, and 10's way out there, so it should choose 4, although it'll probably choose 10 for reasons I don't understand. See, chose 10, and it also moved the goal, let's move our goal back to 9. So now it should either choose 4 or 1. Oh, wait a minute, 11's in our line of sight now, but she's not close enough to make a decision. There we go, now the goal's in sight, so she moves that way. And sometimes she gets turned upside down. Okay. But yeah, this was a fun little game to make. The pathfinding is by far the most challenging, and I have a few waypoints way out here. Put them way out there because I didn't need them. and I was scared to erase them because this thing's coded horribly. And I also had an audio cue. At one point, I wanted it so if you could make noise, and if Grandma was in hearing range, she would have come to investigate, but that did not turn out right. All the mechanics are there, just that I didn't have time to implement it properly. So yeah, this was my entry for Ludum Dare, and you can go download and play it. I'll put a link in the description. Unless no, you can't put judge it on the Ludum Dare website unless you actually participated in either the jam or the compo, which I highly recommend. Unity's a free program for personal use. I believe if you make after a certain amount of money using it, then you need to buy the license, and you can read all about that on Unity's website. But it's Unity 3D. It can also be used to make 2D games like this one. Um, Actually, I think everything else I used was free software. I used Paint.net for my come on, Grandma, choose Waypoint 1. Or set your goal to the kitchen, whatever. Alright. I use Paint.net for graphics. A program called MuseScore 2 for music. And actually, that was kind of fun. I'd never really done much with music before. And I actually wrote a song for this. And I kind of enjoyed the process. And what else did I use? I think they had a piece of paper and some Crayola crayons and I think a Sharpie. And drew my art and loaded it in. Not real happy with the colorization or the tones of the artwork, but it worked. And you can't really tell I had pink spots on the couch. And some of the perspectives off. Granny's curio cabinet's kind of leaning, but it's programmer art, more or less. I had a great time. I had a blast building it. Spent way too long trying to figure out this pathfinding. That's one thing I know I'm going to need to do for future games is learn proper pathfinding. That's something I'm going to have to do. And I don't make games professionally. I do them for fun. If you go to my itch.io website or itch.io site where I'm hosting this game, I have a couple others. I have a Skinner box. Don't play that. That's nonsense. I also have my first Ludum Dare entry and my second one. My second one's garbage, but my first one, You Are the Monster, that one might be worth checking out. The second one really is I'm not proud of that one, but I would leave it up because I keep forgetting to take it down, and I guess leave it up to keep me humble. Anyway, what would I do differently next time? Well, next time I would prepare better. I know I need to get pathfinding down better in my head. So that's something I'm going to prepare before the next Ludum Dare, if I choose to do that one. I've done, this will be my third. I skip a few, can't get to some, or one, I just couldn't think of an idea for the theme, so I bowed out. Things like that. It's a great fun. I usually have Twitter up, and I apologize to all my Twitter followers for all the complaining about game dev I did all weekend. But yeah, this was a blast. And something else I would have done differently? I don't know. Oh yes, I wanted to add the audio cue. I kind of wanted that in the game, but as I was getting in, I saw no, that's not a absolute necessary feature, so it's going to get cut. Also, I would have liked more sound effects, probably music variation. All these wonderful things that aren't going to happen because well, the jam's over. Now, if I were to come back and do this, I would probably rebuild it from scratch, get proper pathfinding. And I really wanted to have a randomized house, but I knew that would have just taken way too long. So I built this little structure here and just used this one level for everything. But that's something else I would have liked to have, a randomized layout for a house. So sometimes the bedroom's over here and the kitchen is down here and grandma's room's over here. Hall closet, and yeah, the same basic rooms but in different layouts. I think that would have been more fun. So that and the audio, Grandma Can Hear You, I think those are the two things that I really really wanted but didn't really have the time or know how to implement properly. Yeah, if you want to play, I'll put a link down in the description. It should work on Windows machines. That noise said I have the batteries, so I'm good here. And I win. And just taking through all well, not all, but some of the scripts I had. My music controller actually also controlled all the buttons in the screen on the game, which is probably beyond the scope of a music controller. Use C#. I had a good time doing this. I recommend it. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress, but it's worth it. Especially if you're trying to learn game development. That fridge should have come down a bit and probably should have been a little bigger scaled. It's too late for all that. Alright, I've been JW608. This has been Grounded, a post-mortem of Ludum Dare 37. Y'all have fun and I'll dig you cats later.